For those of you I don't know, my name is Sydney Eagle. I'm the senior manager of road racing, and joining me is Rick Myers, and I don't know your title, Rick.
That's okay. It depends on the day, but I
Sweet.
believe on my business card it says Senior Director of Rally Solo.
Perfect. And Tracy, who also, I think, what are you like, manager of solo
Very
coordination?
lengthy title. I'm the National Solo Series Administrative General Manager.
That's right. I remember we were joking about how many words would actually fit on the business card of your title.
And
So,
wraps
um,
around to the back.
exactly. So we both solo and road racing have started using Sportity, which is an app that is free for customers, but there is a cost to the admin to use. And we use it in a variety of ways. And so we'd had enough people asking about it that we figured, hey, let's do a shadow session and talk about it. So for those of you that are catching the recording, if at any time you have any questions, we will put our email addresses in the notes that Abby's going to send out for us. And you can check in, and we're happy to answer anything. So if you're here watching live, don't hesitate, throw something in the chat, raise your hand, all the things. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So this is what the back end of Sporty looks like from an admin perspective. So you'll have a dashboard, you have channels. Channels can either be um, year-long channels or they can be events. Um, I'm going to show you the year-long channels first, and then I use the event channels whenever I have a Sporty account for the FIA events that I assist with, and we do those by events. So we'll show you both ways how that works. But on the SCCA side, we use full year channels. This allows us, if we needed to do any uploading of whatever after an event period is over, we still have access to do that. So um, let me get my notes up. Here we go. Um, so as I mentioned, we both use this in a variety of ways. Um, for road racing, we like to link back to the Super Tour event page, which we call our one source of truth, and that allows us to post um, a link directly to, say, the event subs. And it's a link that's tied to the website. So no matter what, we only have to change the one place on the website, and you always will see the most updated form of information. Other options that I'm going to pull up VIR because it's right here. So I mentioned the website. Um, we do, you can upload photos or PDF maps, things like that. Um, you can, this is a link to if you want to make a reservation at the tavern. Um, and then as you can see, this is just a text with pagoda and tavern hours that we can share. So if for some reason something happens like, hey, please no scrubbing tires on pit lane, that is sent out and um, you get an instant message on your phone. So for the folks that are joining us, um, if you don't already have the Sporty app, if you will go ahead and download it, this is what if you see that the purple S, um, it it is very close to Spotify, but it is not the same app. And I know a lot of people mess up and do that. So um, go ahead and download Sporty. And once you've done that, just either give me a thumbs up or type in the chat. All right, I saw Ray. So once you have the app, I probably shouldn't have shared my screen to do this, but maybe you can see me. Um, you'll open it and you'll see a screen um, that looks similar to this. I don't know if you can see me. So this is what it looks like. There's a white little above the white sign in, you're gonna type the event password SCCA. It is not case sensitive. And then hit sign in. And you should see that it says no documents yet. So I'm going to publish my first document. Oh, the other thing that it tells you how many people have subscribed to your Sportity channel. So let's see if we got 4 people. Sweet. Um, at Mid Ohio, when the PA system went out because of lightning, um, we went from like 100 people to like 175 in a 10-minute period. So that's one of the things that we use it for. But you can notice how many people are on there that way. You don't get a breakdown of who has downloaded it. You just a number. So the first thing I'm going to post is so the push notification defaults to whatever the name is here. So if you wanted to do it as something different, you can use a custom name. In order to timestamp, you have to configure a time zone for the event. Um, I don't know about solo, but road racing likes to timestamp it, especially if we're asking for like a driver to meet with the race director, because somebody could have heard the PA but missed 40 and then looks at it later and goes, "Oh wait, do I have to go back?" And they'd already done it. You can also schedule posts. So when I'm doing Victory Circle and making calls to grid, I will get a session started, look at what the time would be, and then schedule, the call to grid to be 10 minutes before the session expires. So I believe that solo may do it slightly differently. So I'm going to let Tracy talk about that in a second. But after you figured out whichever options you want, you hit create, and then we all should get a text message that says, "Hello and welcome." So it looks like that on your phone. So, as I mentioned, you could do PDFs. So you upload directly from your file manager. Same with an image. We just did a text link. This is where I would, so I would take the Barber Super Tour, um, copy this link, and I always like opening it in an external browser because it'll take it out of the Sportity app. And then if someone wants to refer to that page again, they just have to open up their browser, and it's not like they have to go through Sportity each time. So we'll post that, and then you can see what that's like. Um, Other options, I like to sort things into folders. So let me show you. I think Watkins Glen is easy to find. I say that. Mid Ohio. We're going to go there. So you'll see event memos and briefings. I have archived everything into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I usually about lunchtime will move all of the kind of inactive announcements into a folder. That just helps whenever someone opens their app, they see the most recent and important announcements as opposed to um, having to scroll through everything. And this allows you to archive what you've sent and not completely lose it. Um, let's see.
That's a
Back to
question
this.
real quick.
Yes, sir.
Hi, it's Lance. Is this a broadcast to everyone that would be getting the link and then type in the password? Or Can you set up different broadcast groups for, like, say, stewards, marshals, and drivers?
So you would have to have individual events for each of those.
Okay.
Uh, but this, whatever you're sending out is sent out to everyone who subscribes to it.
Yep. Okay.
Um, and then there are polls and contacts. I don't use those. I don't know if Solo uses those or not. Tracy's shaking her head no. So there are some other options to use. And there is a series championship option. I am not as familiar with that version or those options within the championship. I know that it typically includes like a full series channel where you can put like sporting regs and things like that, and then have events underneath it. Um, that's what F1 Academy uses. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen and let Tracy, if I could figure out the right button. Come on. There we go. I'll let Tracy or Rick show how they use it for Solo.
I will take this. Let me share my screen. Um, sure I will. How do I share my screen? Share. How about if I click the share button? All right. So can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So back to the channels. So I'm going to go to an event that is complete. So when we set up an event or a channel, we actually set it up with folders already created. Um, and we have a text messaging folder. So any of the messages that happen that are created throughout the event, that's probably not the best one I could show you. Let me try a different one. Um, let's go to Toledo. That was a fantastic event. So our text messages, um, we create all of the messages and they go into one folder. We do timestamp everything. So the time zone is set up when the channel is set up. We do in the beginning, like scrolling down on Friday, we schedule a lot of these messages just based on the schedule that we have set up. Practice starts, check-in and tech, the time they close. So the admins go in and schedule a lot of those messages out in advance so that it keeps everybody informed. Um, but we don't have to be sitting in front of a computer when those things are happening. Same thing for Saturday morning, the late check-in and tech times. So it's very flexible in that. It's something we use regularly, the schedule feature. We set up um, an event information, which includes the class list and the worker sheets. And we also link to the schedule page and the event page because we utilize the one source of truth. So if there is a change made to a schedule or something on the event, if it's not, we do send it as a text and don't always update the event page. But if something changes prior to showing up on site, it's linked to that event page. And we also link to live timing. Our grid sheets are part of live timing. So if someone's not familiar with a live timing site, they can still get to their grid sheet to Sportity and linking to live timing. So anything else, Sid, that you ours is about the same as far as we had 250-ish entrants at the Toledo Pro, and we had 212 people sign up. So it has really gained a lot of traction in the last couple of years, where a majority of the people sign up so that they can stay in the loop. One of the other things we've noticed the last probably year is that people who are at home following along also sign up because they want to know if there's they want to know if something's happening. If we've had a something happen on course that we're keeping people informed about on site, they also want to know. So we have found that the people at home that are watching, following along, are also starting to subscribe as well. That is the solo portion of that.
Thanks, Tracy. So I'm going to show you, so these are some archived events, from FIA events in the past year. As you can see, we set up a different channel for each. So like for the Formula E event in January, we had scrutineers and trackside marshals. Um, there is a limit to the number of if you use an event, there is a limit to the number of documents that you can upload before a 30-day window prior. This is very confusing. So if your event is on October 1st, you cannot start uploading. You can upload, I think it's 30 documents prior to September 1st. And then after that, a month leading up to the event, there is no limit up to the 500 documents that it is total per event for. So for the Formula E events, the scrutineers have lots and lots of documents that have um, safety diagrams and all kinds of stuff. And so they have to be careful because we had to give them their own channel one year because they uploaded so many we couldn't even put the schedule out for people. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you're doing the events. The full channel year does not have that 30-day window limitation, but there is still the 500 documents total. But for example, I'll show you. So this is the 2025 USGP for flagging and intervention. We would have all of the different documents for flagging, and then intervention has their section. We have all kinds of maps, spotters guides. These are some of these. So like this is a picture, but these are PDFs, schedules, and then anything we would send out random updates, and then links and things like that. So that's just kind of the difference between, as you can see, this was the US Central and then Circuit of the Americas allowed at least the time zone allowed us to timestamp stuff for this event, but none of that's really too important for these types of events, but obviously time sensitive for other types of events. So in the notes that we're going to send out, we'll have links to download the Sportity app. And then it has a little bit of information that is also on this website. And I will link this website in there too, because if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there is some pricing. It's all in pounds, or euro. So you can do the exchange rate, whatever. But they do offer different packages. So you can do a one channel, multiple events, a variety. And I have found that they're based in, I think, Estonia, but their customer service is very, very responsive and super cool to deal with in the times that I've dealt with them. But at the very bottom, there is this sign up for a Sportity app 10-day free trial. So you can try it out and see how it works, see if you like it. And then, of course, that can translate into a full-blown um, subscription if you want it. They also do custom packages, so sky's the limit if you're looking to do something a little bit more. But yeah, any other questions?
I said, this is Lance again. I got a couple of questions.
Sure.
Um, Tell me what you would recommend or the team would recommend for operating this channel as an admin before a road race weekend and during a road race weekend. And I say before because I'm thinking that getting the subs and things like that might be something the race chair might do. And then during an event, not sure who you would recommend if you can have more than one admin, if you limit the number of people that can post. Tell me more about what your thoughts are there.
So, um, and I know this is being recorded, but you can create one login and share that login with people, which is what I've done, and what Solo has done. They do have sub admins that they have assigned to um, on the USRM ACUS FIA side. We only have, I think it's 7 or 8 admins. So I have certain people have certain access. Um, let me, so you can configure, all right, let me show this real quick. Andy won't mind. Um, so, um, Andy currently has no assigned events. But you can go through and select various ones. So on our side, there's like a race control channel that we only want limited people to have access to, so we don't share that password outside of the race control team. But we also limit who can access that as far as posting as well. So um, if you were to do, it depends on, I don't remember, I think it's in this little thing. Hold on. Or further down. Sorry if I'm making anybody sick. Um, yeah, so admins. Um, you can have, with one channel, you only have one admin. Um, but you can make that password and that admin, whatever, share it with however many people you want. Um, but the problem with that is somebody has access to it. And so make sure you trust whoever you do that with. Um, but if you did a 10-year, a 10 channel package or a 10 event package, you could have 4 different admins so that somebody's responsible for before. When we're at super tours, that falls to either myself or Scott Dobler. Sometimes we tag team, sometimes we get confused. Um, and we think there's 9 run groups when there's only 8. Or we miss one, or that kind of thing. So um, we we kind of figure out who best to own that for the weekend. Um, and I think Tracy, y'all have, is that an actual like worker assignment for y'all?
I have 3 monitors. My mouse is all over the place. The admins for the event manage Sportity.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Lance?
Yeah, let me see if I get this correct. My understanding is you could have multiple channels with separate admins if you have multiple event package. Is that
Correct.
correct? So channel equals events, potentially. If you do
Yeah,
one channel for the 50 pounds, it's just one channel. It's like a single broadcast for everything. That,
correct.
okay. So if you want to have different channels slash events with separate admins, like operating stewards, corner marshals, or whatever registration, you would end up in that case with three different event IDs, if you will, which would have a different cost structure.
Correct.
Correct? Okay, got it.
Any other questions from anyone? Cool. Well, we appreciate your time, and if anything comes up in the future, don't hesitate to reach out. And we're happy to answer anything going forward, and hope y'all have